Is it just me, or is marketing harder in 2026 than it was in 2020? What I mean by that is the market, not the assets, not creating the social media, the individual campaigns, but I mean the whole concept of marketing that is aligned to your business. It seems harder because yes, we have AI today. You can easily use prompts to create all of the captions, the titles, the hooks, whatnot. You can have it batch create. You can do automations, right? But but those are the tactics. That's the workflow. But what I mean is the ability to connect with your audience online, whether it's in social, because audiences are more fragmented, right? You have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, then you have email marketing, paid search, you have SEO, now you have AEO, right? All these things need to be fed, right? You need to reach your audiences on those platforms, but where do you start? What do you use? What don't you use? And I think that's what I mean by marketing feels harder today. The tools are amazing, right? Whether you're using ChatGPT, Claude, every tool now has some sort of AI, generative, um, generative AI component inside of it that makes the act easier of creating an asset. But the actual strategy, and even if you're using ChatGPT, it's not the same because expectations have changed because there's just so much more content, right? Everyone's starting to realize they need to be marketing. So what does that actually mean now? And I believe that what we need as business owners, as founders, is the ability to tell authentic stories of our lived experiences, of our opinions. We need to be able to showcase our expertise to our ideal client profile or our avatars, right? Because with the volume of AI slop that's being created today, people want what's real. We're seeing that with Gen Z, where they're gravitating towards physical, tangible items. So you're seeing the rise of iPods, the rise of AirPods compared to AirPods, the ones with the cords compared to the AirPods that are the Bluetooth, right? It's because people want tangible things, that authenticity, kind of like a return to a quote unquote simpler time. So with marketing, trust is becoming a bigger commodity. We've seen figures, I will name too many names, but if you think of some of the biggest brands a few years ago, what you see now is that people are turning away from them because it doesn't feel as authentic. People don't want to feel like they're under the gaze of an influencer. And you are not an influencer, you're a business owner. You are your ability to teach, to educate, to entertain by being yourself is probably your biggest asset that you're not utilizing. And the tools should be in service of helping you develop a system that would allow you to create authentic, trust-based marketing. So where do we go from here? Well, I think it's doing what we're doing right now is being vulnerable, not being too afraid of being unpolished, because what we're seeing with AI tools is that everything has a certain level of pretty good, right? And it becomes average. So I'm not saying that you have to be deliberately unpolished, but it's more important to show up authentically, to show up consistently, to use these platforms like your Chat GPT, your Notions, right? To create systems that will allow you with a minimum of fuss. You don't have to think about what to post. You have a system that's going to give you what you need and you can get it distributed consistently. And I think that consistency is what is going to help you build your audience. Now that you have all these tools, we can track. We can see in Google Business Profile. We can see in Google Analytics. We can see in your Meta dashboard what's working, what's not working. Then we could use that to create a feedback loop where we can now, in ChatGPT, analyze the information, say, hey, you know what? Can I get more content along these parameters based on what's been working? And now you have text-based editing where you don't have to spend time in Adobe Premiere cutting and slicing clips together, right? You have tools that will just generate clips. So what I'm saying by that is it is harder, but that's just because marketing is becoming more mature. And the key in 2026 compared to 2020 is being able to use these platforms to create a system that will allow us to scale. Let's use AI to scale, but not to be creative.